Hi, my name's Ruth. This is my first update for my pregnancy video log. I'm 19 weeks and 1 day today, which is the 18th of February 2011. As this is my first update, I'm going to start right at the beginning, which was we found out that I was pregnant when I was 3 weeks and 2 days, which was back in October last year. So I think that's quite early to find out that you're pregnant. I'm not sure. It just happened that that's when my periods landed quite early in the month, and we were. Obviously, it wasn't planned at all. So after we got over the initial shock, we were obviously very, very happy. My husband and I have been together. My husband Tom and I have been together for 6 or 7 years, and we've been married now for 2 years. So I think with the family has sort of thought that it was about time. And so we found out back in October, and when we were back in the UK, and we're over in Florida at the moment. And I kept waiting, as the weeks rolled on, I kept waiting for the infamous kind of morning sickness and nausea to really hit me. But fortunately, it never did, which I was really, really pleased about, because my mum actually gets so sick that she ends up on a drip, being drip fed in hospital. Where she really can't keep anything down. So I was really, really pleased that I didn't get anything like that. I just assumed that I would take after her. So I didn't really have that many symptoms in the first trimester. It was mainly actually just quite bad fatigue for the whole of the first trimester, really. I was finding it really difficult to kind of drag myself out of bed every morning. And I'd kind of lie in to kind of 9:30, maybe even 10 o'clock, and then be just totally ready for bed by 8:30, 9 o'clock that evening. So I didn't really feel that pregnant during the first trimester, but we went along for our scan. Well, it was supposed to be our 12-week scan, but actually once they kind of had a look at the baby, they realised I was actually only 10 weeks pregnant, which I did try to tell them, but they have to sort of go by their initial calculations, which they do from the first day of your last period. But I know I was, probably 2 weeks later than they were telling me I was. So we went in anyway because, obviously, we didn't really mind that we might have to go back because it was an extra scan. So lo and behold, I was only 10 weeks pregnant, and they did the scan, and they couldn't really check for everything they needed to check for. So they just showed me the baby and stuff. And this was our 10-week scan. As you can see, it just kind of looks like a little bean at the moment. That's its head. That's its kind of body. Its head is about the same size as its body. That's its little foot kind of sticking up there. So that was at 10 weeks of pregnancy. Still looks a little bit kind of alien-like at the moment, not really much like a baby, but this was our first image of it, so obviously very special. And then we went back when I was actually at 13 weeks to have another scan, and I was really, really shocked at how much the baby had changed. It was so much bigger just in that 3 weeks. So I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this one, but this is kind of a profile of. You can see its head in profile there, its nose and its mouth and its neck. And this is its abdomen, and you can see here it's sucking its thumb. It's kind of you can see all the little bones in its hand and stuff. So that was really amazing to see it kind of wriggling around, and it was kind of reacting to the probe, and it was so much more lifelike than it was just 3 weeks before. And like I said, we could see all, its head, its abdomen, its arms, and the little bones in its hands and feet, and we could see it sucking its thumb, and also giving itself the hiccups as well. So it was kind of hiccuping like this, and we could see it all happening. So that really, really helped actually with making me feel a lot more connected to the pregnancy, because I think the women who get all these, this load of symptoms in the first trimester, you know, whether they be good or bad, on a day-to-day basis. It does sort of help you feel more connected and really make you feel like you are pregnant. So people who don't get as many symptoms, I think, can sort of feel a bit disconnected from the baby. So that first and second scan really helped me sort of feel connected to the baby. And they checked everything they needed to check. They kind of take your blood, and they, you know, to check for kind of chromosomal abnormalities, you know, in the baby, and they check what's called the neural tube, so see if it's kind of closed properly down the spine, you know, therefore if it's got spina bifida, or if it's kind of closed properly down the front here, whether it's got a cleft palate or anything like that. So they were able to check for all that, and that all seemed good, which was good. We were in a low risk category, which we were really pleased about. So that is really when the pregnancy kind of began for me. Because A, I knew everything was all right. B, I'd kind of seen the baby and, you know, really knew that there was actually something in there. You know, so that was kind of a really big experience for me. Now, obviously, my tummy has been growing slowly but surely, which, you know, another symptom of the pregnancy. But I think up until now I've really been kind of treading the line between looking pregnant and just kind of looking like I've kind of overdone the donuts a little bit. And I think just in the last week or so, I've really started to look a lot more like I'm actually pregnant, which is very exciting as well. Another big milestone is that I actually felt the baby move the other day. I definitely felt the baby move. I was wondering if I'd felt it for a week or so beforehand, you know, kind of, because I knew I've you know, been reading about the pregnancy and stuff. I knew that it happens around week 18, kind of onwards, and so I you know, every time I felt a little anything in there, I stopped and asked myself if that's what it was, but I wasn't really sure. We were actually on our way back, flying back from San Francisco the other day, and just after we'd taken off, we'd just reached an altitude. The baby must have reacted to, you know, the change in pressure or something, because it gave 3 really strong little kicks, totally unmistakable. That's definitely what it was. So we were really happy, and this poor guy who was sitting next to me on the plane just had to listen to me witter on about it for hours to my long-suffering husband. But no, obviously that was a really big moment for us, and, you know, again, sort of reassures you that you do actually have a baby in there. And just as a bit of sort of extra information, when I kind of read about what you were supposed to feel, people said that you felt kind of flutters, or, you know, a kind of whooshing feeling, or whatever. It didn't actually feel like that to me. It felt more like kind of popcorn popping kind of in my lower abdomen. So look out for kind of feelings like that. Apparently the baby can hear sounds, has been able to for a couple of weeks, so I've taken to kind of reading out loud anything that I read, you know, the news, my book, any websites, anything I read, I kind of read to the baby, because I want to kind of get it used to the sound of my voice and the sound of words, and, you know, things like that. Also, Tom, my husband, has started reading to both of us in the evening. So when we settle down to bed, he reads to both of us. And actually, yesterday I didn't really feel the baby move very much. Now that I know what I'm feeling for, you can feel even the little movements. But I didn't really feel it move very much. And then we laid down to, you know, sort of got into bed, and he started reading, and the baby started kicking in response, which I think was a really lovely moment for both of us, but for him especially, because it meant that the baby was reacting to him, and, you know, again, he felt more connected to what was going on and stuff. So I pressed his hand right down on where the baby was kicking, but he couldn't feel anything, so he can't feel anything just yet. So that brings us up to speed to week 19. You know, I'm just starting to look pregnant. I'm just starting to feel the baby move, and it's all, you know, it's all just about to start happening for us. So we're really excited. And I hope you've enjoyed my first instalment. And I will update you either next week or definitely the week after, because that's when we have our scan. So hope you've enjoyed my video. Thanks. Bye. just a little shot of my belly, just so you can sort of watch with me as my belly grows over the coming weeks. So this is 19 weeks and 1 day. As you can see, it's not massive at the moment, but you can definitely see a roundness kind of starting in my lower abdomen there. On the other side, just there. And this is it without the shirt. So you can just see the roundness here, which I didn't have before. So yeah, just starting to look like there might be a baby in there. So speak to you next week.